Hey everybody, Charlie902 here, and welcome back to Paradise Killer. Last left off, we were removed from exile and told to investigate this 24th iteration of the island Paradise. We have just made it to the island after being ferried here by our friend Lydia. Let's go ahead and see what we can see. Looks like a judge there. I guess that's how we talk to like a projection of Judge. Go ahead and do it.
Hello, Judge.
It did boost the game volume. I lowered the music volume back to original levels, maybe even a little bit lower, just so it wouldn't kind of override what we're doing here. But we should be able to hear the voice acting a bit better. Hello, Judge. Good to see Justice again. Birthplace forgotten of Judge. Birth sign forgotten. Every society needs a form of justice, and a syndicate member volunteered. They believe so deeply in impartial justice that they scrub their ego and fuse themselves to the island, becoming judge. So they're almost like the island's AI, but actual intelligence, because it's an actual living thing. So they're like one with the island. They would become the embodiment of justice acting on behalf of the island. 4 arms. A little weird, okay. Starlight is helping you navigate through the sea of truth already.
Judge.
Paradise requires power and sacrifice.
Welcome back to the blood-stained paradise, Lady Lovedays.
The investigator is here.
Tell me about the crime.
Paradise Killer.
The council are dead, our leader's gone. The black pall of crime hangs over us. Leader Montserrat has been taken from us.
What the hell?
You already know this, though. The whole council were murdered at once. They gathered to birth the new island, our perfect new home, Perfect 25. At the end of their meditation, the killers struck. Arrogance put the entire council in one room. Hubris is a large gap in armor. If you're a murder junkie, that's quite the hit.
What time?
Midnight, the holy hour, the hour of weird, the hour of...
Got it.
The hour of what? I get it. All the council were murdered last night at midnight.
Sure.
Do you have a suspect? It's a miracle. A mass murderer in custody. Henry Division, a citizen possessed by a demon. So they're already saying he's the one, which means he's probably not the one. He's killed before. A decade ago, he came back. We found the knife in his hand, the council's blood in his stomach. The oppressed rise up. Who'd have thought? Yeah, because they're like slaves on this island paradise, right?
Where?
Where's the crime scene? The council's own penthouse, the brutalist tower that reaches to the sky. Has anyone been in there?
Investigate.
Council are protected by 4 holy seals. Only our leaders can open them. We cannot get into the crime scene. We cannot access the slaughter. So we're going to have to break 4 holy seals, huh?
How?
How did the killer get in?
Truth waits for you in the shadows.
Truth waits for you in the shadows. Truth hides behind the smoke of crime. So Judge doesn't know. We only know the nature of the first holy seal. 2 of the finest God Justice Marshals. Stations as guards. Sentinels. God Justice Marshals. Both butchered by the monster. Demonic sigils cover the suspect's body, scorched onto him by the astral demon inside of him. The same sigils are daubed in the marshal's blood, or daubed, at the entrance to the council building.
I have a bad feeling about this.
If no one has been in the crime scene, how do you know the council are dead? Their work is done, a new island has been born, yet they have not emerged from their chambers. The accused was found with a red slick knife and a belly full of the blood of the council members.
Investigate.
In this instance, the answer to the terrifying equation is dreadful murder. Well, no. You don't know for sure. Unless this is like a common thing to find blood inside of someone's stomach in this universe. But no, you don't know for sure. You could have just tied them up, stole some blood? I don't know. Without seeing the crime scene and seeing the bodies, how can you be sure?
The investigator is here.
I'm going to assume there are no eyewitnesses if it's a locked room murder. None that have come forward. Locked room murder. That's like a classic, like, Sherlock Holmes murder story, right?
Why?
Why would someone decapitate the syndicate now? Figuratively decapitate. Is it an interloper, a god, a desirer of power? Is it naked ambition played out with a knife in the penthouse? Power play, a sicko killing for kicks? The world's a twisted place. Wouldn't surprise me. The balance has existed for millennia. Well, let's think about the society you've created of, slaves that must, psychically praise a dead outer god in order to try to revive it? And you're creating and slaughtering these people to create these new islands. Like, maybe they didn't want to be slaughtered. Maybe they don't want to go to a new island. Maybe they like what they got.
Who?
Who's running the show now? I installed architect Carmelina as the acting leader. We have birthed Perfect 25, a wonderful new home of her design. She's the best placed to oversee this new transition. So she's in charge now, the architect. As bizarre as this vision of crime is, there's a further anomaly. Just one? You remember KHX? Our master craftsman, what about him? He is missing. We haven't had any contact with him for several days. We have a note. This is doubly concerning as he designed the second holy seal that protects the council. Okay, so that's first holy seal is already dealt with. Second holy seal is going to be our first holy seal, so we're going to have to find KHX. Do we have a suspect?
Got it.
Oh no, we were asking if he's a suspect. Is he a potential killer? If you could track the right truth through the darkened forest of secrecy, you might be able to prove it.
Lady Love dies.
It's been a while since we needed you. The syndicate is in danger. You're in danger. Unspoken things beyond the stars are in danger. The island will not give up its secrets easily.
Is paradise worth saving?
What is the truth? What are the facts? Are they the same? Evidence, testimony, they're all yours to find, yours to take. We must find who did this.
Crime cannot hide.
Crime cannot hide. Crime always wants to be found. The nature of crime is perverse. Starlight has the blood records of the council. I've just updated Starlight with a blood sample of Henry as well. That's HX, right? And we had the architect's blood sample. Use them to examine the murder weapon and crime scene. So we can do DNA evidence like on the scene. I need this solved so we can move on to a new island. A suspect isn't enough. I need concrete proof. I'm linked to Starlight, the conduit of justice. She will track your case files. She has just unlocked her suspect module.
Investigate.
Investigate, interrogate, find the gold evidence in the silt of the island. When you're ready, bring them to me and we'll begin the trials. The trials will determine the guilty, assemble your facts, and present the truth to me. You may not understand your truths. Bring them to trial and we will reveal the guilty together and attain clarity. So even if we haven't figured it out, we're going to bring it and have some type of a trial a la Ace Attorney style and figure out stuff as we go. You start the trials whenever you're ready. They will be the climax of your investigation, but you determine when that climax will be. Giggity.
Truth waits for you.
Are you ready to
In the
investigate?
shadows.
This island will try to hide the truth from you.
When love dies, all that remains are the facts.
Is that like your catchphrase?
The journey into truth and justice begins.
A duel across the sun-drenched streets between the investigator and the truth. Paradise Island is yours. Crime details received. Alright. 1152, Henry Division escaped from the desolation cell. Grand Marshal Akiko 14 was guarding him. Midnight, the council are murdered. So within 8 minutes, Henry is found outside the council building by Akiko 3 minutes later. Akiko informs a witness that Henry has been found and the first seal guards are murdered. Akiko confirms to the witness that the holy seals are closed. She cannot secure the penthouse. The judge assumes authority over the island and locks the paradise gates. Syndicate meeting is held in courtroom. Judge appoints Carmelina as acting leader. Judge decrees that they are bringing Lady Love Dies out of exile. A full investigation will happen before the island ends. Judge activates Starlight and waits for Lady Love Dies to make contact. Crime details end. We have notes.
key item obtained.
Blood sample taken from Henry Division, the prime suspect of the council murder last night. Is that him? Is this Henry Division? Key to the past, key to the future, key to your heart, key to the truth. Okay, we have our mission. Let's hit tab. Oh, wow. There's a whole bunch here. Notes. Find your truth. Start the trials. It says your truth, not the truth. Alright, potential leads. Second Holy Seal. Third Holy Seal. 2 murdered guards. Fourth Holy Seal is a mystery. Question about their suspicions. As I speak to Crimson about her whereabouts last night. Who's Crimson Acid? Have we heard of Crimson Acid? Eerie Night. Okay, so these are just people who are around that we haven't really talked to. Lydia and Sam Daybreak. Witness to the End. Grand Marshal Akiko. This is the one that found Henry Division. Carmelina Silent. She is now the leader. She would have motive, right? Because now she's the leader. Dr. Doom Jazz. I love your name, dude. Henry Division. Yes, that is a picture of Henry Division. And KHX is missing. Are you Michelangelo's David? So, this almost feels to me like these are all avatars of the actual people. And we're in like once again, like the Matrix, we're in like a simulation and we're trying to perfect the simulation. I don't know. We'll see. Case files. Alright, so these are all the suspects. So there's the crime to end all crimes, the one that killed the lead guy. KHX is missing. There's unsorted evidence. Starlight has failed to classify the evidence contained here. Okay, so we're going to collect evidence and then have to sort it. Okay, that's very golden idly. Inventory, key items, upgrades, relics. So these are the relics we found. Population. Montserrat is murdered. Syndicate's glorious leader. He formed the syndicate with his mentor, Ezequiel. Montserrat became the leader of the syndicate when he killed the mad leader Ezequiel and saved the syndicate from darkness. So he became leader through murder. Which, once again, gives me pause on Carmelina's silence here, because maybe she thought she could become leader by murder. And then we got Gabriella Devotion, murdered. Hailing from North Africa, High Priestess Gabriella Devotion is seen as a mediator between the Syndicate and the gods. Only certified priests are allowed to communicate with the gods, since communing with astral deities opens passages in space which demons can pass through. Murdered last night with the rest of the council. Pandora 2 established the Dead Nebula Company early in the Syndicate and became the only goods manufacturer on the island. In conjunction with Masahiro Heavy Industries, she established the Deep Factory in the sprawling caverns under the islands, a victim of last night's council. Kafka Memory was a founding member of the Syndicate and conceived the plan to mass abduct citizens from the real world and bring them to the island, forcing them to worship the gods. Alright, so that also leads credence to my initial kind of impression that this is a simulation or some type of program that's running. Citizens from the real world, bring them to the island, force them to worship gods, and you're wondering why people would want to kill you? Cold-hearted man that grew increasingly introverted over the millennia, a victim of last night's council massacre. Lunatic Pope, second in command to Gabriella and handles most of the day-to-day running of the religious aspects of the Syndicate. Gabriella is kind of like the High Priestess. Born on the Fifth Island and advanced into the council through selfless devotion and a brain for interpreting bureaucratic aspects of the god's dogma. victim of last night's council massacre. Born on the 5th island. So, life is created on these islands? Or does that mean he was abducted and brought to that island, and then instead of being slaughtered once the island ended, he was basically brought up to this level, syndicate level. Well, council level, I guess. So council is the highest level, then syndicate, then citizens. Okay. Find stranger. Mystery to almost all in the syndicate and council. Is unknown where he came from. Responsible for reading tomes during council meetings. Murdered last night. Leon Disaster. Early in the syndicate, the need for a currency arose. Disaster found a way to harden blood into crystals. It was decided that only his blood would be used so as not to flood the market. That's odd. Sorry, I had to cough. So that means only Leon Disaster's DNA, if DNA is even a thing in this world, whatever the equivalent is in this world that we're in, is in that crystal that we got for currency. So that may be important later when we need to identify them. Macon origin. Macon took over Masahiro Heavy Industries when Masahiro himself was murdered by the mad leader Ezequiel. Ezequiel? Is that how we say that? Ezequiel, like Ezekiel? Maybe that is Ezekiel, and we're just spelled weird. Since then, Macon used her flair for industrial design to grow MHI and adapt to the changing needs of the syndicate. She is responsible for the maintenance of the syndicate's power source, the reality folding drive. Okay, at some point, we're going to establish all these weird systems and names, and then we're going to start building upon them. But right now, we're just being inundated with just all kinds of craziness. It's kind of overwhelming. Victim of last night's council massacre. And then finally, we have Ais Kawami. Born in a remote area of India and came to the syndicate during the Great Betrayal. After saving Doomjazz from torture, Doomjazz was down here. This is Doomjazz. The two chased after the newly formed syndicate as they made their way through Mesopotamia. Okay, Mesopotamia. Ais Kwame took on his own life several years ago. Oh, took his own life several years ago. It's unknown why. So he wasn't even part of all this. It says here suicide. So he killed himself before this even happened several years ago. I guess we got to read all these too. This is us, born at the longest tower, Britain in AD. Kiss me to the moon. Lead investigator after the Damned Harmony incident on Island 13. So Damned Harmony is still the one we're suspecting here. No, that's Henry Division. I'm sorry. Paradise Psycho Unit was shut down and Love Dies was exiled to the Idle Lands. Grand Marshal Akiko, Grand Marshal. Born in Romania, AD 991, New Knight. Do these signs mean anything? Is that something we're going to have to... It may be something we're going to have to look into. Born to Romeo and Natasha Silence on the 4th island sequence under the sign of Blood Dancer. So yes, the people brought from the real world can conceive life in this world. Architect of the island sequences. So you're now in charge, but you're still listed down here in Syndicate, not up here in Council. Crimson Acid. Born in the hospital of our martyred goat. What? England in AD 1002 under the sign of Endless Moon, the Syndicate's idol turned secrets broker. Okay, so you're like pop star, but you also deal in secrets. Born in the Cannon Fortress, Scotland, AD 988 under the sign of Cosmic Deceit. Syndicate's doctor. So I'm seeing here, some of these people are born in the real world. Does that mean throughout time they're being abducted? Is this an Arion Electric Castle type situation where people are taken from different times and kind of thrown together in some great experiment to summon an outer god or resurrect a dead outer god? Born in Wana Falls, Kenya, we did read about this. Fairy woman, we read her. Born in the shadow of the dragon in Turkey. This is Sam Daybreak. Under the sign of Shadow Zero. Oh, you're her husband. Barmaster at Bar Knife Through the Heart. Man, there's definitely some drama going on here, like Ace Attorney levels of drama, but with a layer of like Catherine weirdness. I don't know. So far, I'm digging it. So far, we'll just have to see how the actual investigation gameplay goes. Right now, we're still doing world building. The Witness to the End. That's your name, is the Witness to the End? Born in the Chaos Palace in northern Iran, AD 908, under the sign of destroyed Eden. Overseer of the End of the Islands. So your job is to make sure the islands are murdered. So you're like death. Hence the skull you have there. Yuri Knight, born in Marble Chambers on Island Sequence 15. Daya Rose, secretary to architect Carmelina, and the fairy woman's handler. Why would the fairy woman need a handler? Judge. We already read Judge. Isaiah Bullets, previously married to Lady Love Dies. Moved to Island 25, procures conditions and distributes citizens on the island. We are horrible people is what it sounds like. Nicolina Rose works directly under Pandora 2 to manage Dead Nebula operations, responsible for negotiating the Crimson Acid collaborations. Jaheim Fortune maintains the Syndicate graveyard on top of the mountain, responsible for all funeral rites conducted for Syndicate members. Moved to the next island. Madame Complex, responsible for maintaining the gardens around the island, also performs the duty of the opening of a door at the end of the year. Okay, don't know what that means. The lead engineer for Masahiro Heavy Industries. This is Balthazar Tears, working under Macon Origin, responsible for the God Bruiser nuclear weapons. What? Grace Bloodlines, murdered. Responsible for conducting and overseeing the exorcising of demons that possessed island inhabitants. Murdered by Henry Division 10 years ago, and that's the case that caused us to get exiled. KHX. That's the one we're looking for, with the statue of David missing. Craftsman that produces items of exquisite workmanship, often tasked with crafting ceremonial items. Responsible for creating one of the holy seals. Missing, hasn't been seen or heard from in a number of days. And Judge. And then we got Citizens. You are locked up. Henry Division. Citizen born to Rena Division 27 years ago. Oh, and I keep mixing these up. This one was murdered by Henry Division. So that wasn't the case. It was Damned Harmony incident. It may have been Henry Division then. Just name the Damned Harmony incident. Alright, Father Unknown, 27 years ago, was born, possessed by a demon 10 years ago. Currently incarcerated at Desolation Cell, accessible from the South Beach. So, like, they know that he's possessed by a demon. Citizens. 3,106 worshippers and workers. So, slaves, basically, is what it sounds like. Victims of mass abductions, brought to the islands and forced to worship the gods. The psychic energy created by their worship is channeled by the syndicate priests and fed to the gods. Citizens are the lowest class of island inhabitants, spending their lives in worship and working in the deep factory and farm. Oh, wow. Okay. It's just got super dark. Alright, inventory, case files, timeline. Oh! Man's prehistory, alright. Gods came to Earth, gift man technology, and the world becomes embroiled in a millennia-long war. The gods are betrayed by their enslaved armies and are killed in prison or driven from the Earth. The syndicate is formed by worshippers of the gods. Okay. The imprisoned god's Silent Goat learns of the syndicate and psychically gifts them his power. The Syndicate uses his power to create the Paradise Island sequences and the reality folding drive to fuel them. Okay, long ago, war with gods. God gave gift to man, gave him technology was the gift. Man goes to war, casts out gods and kills them or imprisons them. But there are sympathizers known as the Syndicate who are basically going against man, siding with God. Lady Love Dies is seduced by the goddamned Harmony. What does that mean? This is what we have to figure out. She's exiled to the Idle Lands. Current Island was born 964 years ago. 10 years ago, demonic corruption incident. Henry Division illegally communicates with the gods and possessed by a demon of unknown origin. Henry murders his mother, and during his arrest, he also kills the Syndicate's exorcist Grace bloodlines. That's the one we saw. Demonic corruption taints the island. Paradise Island 24 is condemned. Preparations are made for the birth of Paradise Island Sequence 25, nicknamed Perfect 25. One day ago, preparations for Perfect 25 have been completed. Syndicate's council retire to the penthouse to meditate and birth the next island. And then we already got these. So we got to fill in the rest there. Map. Oh my. Nuclear. This is the reality folding drive. Arcane power source gifted to Syndicate by the Silent Goat, built by Masahiro Heavy Industries. There's a lot of stuff here. What's here? Agri-fields, state-of-the-art agriculture facilities that produce island synthetic foods. Syndicate graveyard, memorializing fallen members. The opulent ziggurat. Large temple where most religious ceremonies are conducted. At the end of the island, all of the citizens are ritualistically slaughtered by the Syndicate in the temples through psychic energy offered to the gods. So 3,000 plus citizens are killed at once in a sacrifice to the god. KHX's workshop. Dead zone. Henry allowed demons to flood into this area. Demons rot the fabric of the world. The area was sealed off to prevent the corruption spreading. And then there's a beach right beside of it. Deep factory entrance. A huge network of the catacombs filled with industries that facilitate life on the island. Mountain Gorge, a valley used for citizens to commune to work and to transport goods from the factory. Marshal Barracks. Barracks of the God Justice Marshals. Citizen housing. A number of apartments were knocked down and replaced with houses as an experiment, where the citizens stopped killing themselves and each other if they had a better quality of life. Oh my. It's almost like they were playing Civilization or a game such as that, like a civilization simulation game. Even with this view here, it kind of makes you feel like that. Like, oh, we gotta improve their life so that they can provide what we want them to provide. Danchi? Danchis used to be aspirational apartment blocks. Bubble bursts when citizens realize they're a cradle for unhappiness. Citizen apartments. Apartment blocks breed madness. People are too close to each other. Syndicate apartments. Luxury apartments for members of the Syndicate. Lush gardens enjoyed by members of the Syndicate. Crime scene, the Palace of Carnage. Syndicate headquarters, seat of the power of Syndicate. All matters of government are conducted here. We are at the courthouse. Doom Jazz's yacht. Home of a god, pyramid. Desolation cell, remote cell for demonically possessed. Henry is currently incarcerated here. Paradise Gates is where we came from, the pathway between a dying island and the next island. Syndicate members are transported between islands by Lydia, the fairy woman, who operates kind of like Sharon or Karen on the River Styx. Skins. Craters of the moon are no accident. The moon used to be smooth when the gods fired meteors at it to write out a message of no consequence. What is that skin for? Apply? Okay. I don't know. Music? Okay. 19 tracks to open up. We don't have to play that yet. All right. Well, I think we have a big enough lore dump there to kind of get started. We're obviously going to have to piece things together. I do like how a lot of that lore I kind of had to dig for. It wasn't just thrust in my face. And it did provide us some backstory and some insight. So we'll definitely use that and try to solve this case. But that's going to do it for this episode. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy my content, please consider a like, a comment, and or subscribe. Stay tuned for the next episode. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.